Hey crafters, this is Secret Helper, and today I'll be showing you an easy tutorial to make an Alice in Wonderland folio. It's a mini junk journal made from a printable kit. Everything in this folio is made from regular paper and printed with a home printer. This folio is fairly thick and it comes with a spine and lots of cute Alice-themed tabs. There are also secret compartments and pages with loaded pockets filled with vintage ephemera. These ephemera pieces are all double-sided. There isn't any pieces in this kit with white backs. There's an interactive pocket watch from the White Rabbit, and you can open it up too. Inside there are quotes from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. I'm late for a very important date," says the White Rabbit. And here's more ephemera with vintage patterns in this pocket, as well as these tall bookmarks in the following page. This bookmark is made from an actual book page from the vintage Alice in Wonderland book, and both bookmarks are double-sided. Here's Alice falling down the rabbit hole. And there's this intricate playing card. If you turn it to the side, you can see all of these faces behind the hearts. This page is a shabby chic-themed Mad Hatter tea party. It has a little bookmark in this pocket too. Plus a drink me bottle that you can pull out as well. And that's the Alice in Wonderland folio. Lots of pages, a nice chunky spine and full of ephemera and pockets. This folio is also freestanding, like all of my other kits. If you open the pages slightly, it stands by itself so you can display it on your table or shelf. This kit was so much fun to make, and I hope you guys try making it with me. Now let's get started making the kit. I made this folio entirely from a printable digital kit. Let me show you how it looks like. Basically, all you need are these 12 digital JPG files, which you can download from the Secret Helper Etsy shop. I'll drop a link to that in the description. There are lots of other interactive kits and junk journal sets there too, if you're interested as well. Once you've downloaded the files, you can then print them out instantly with a printer. I printed these pages out with my home printer on regular paper, single-sided. I find you don't really need to print them out on thick paper because we're going to be doing a lot of folding, so regular printer paper works quite well. If you have super sharp eagle eyes, you may notice that the pages I'm holding are slightly different from the digital files you have. This is because initially I had 13 files, but I thought, damn, that seems like an unlucky number. So I rearranged the pages slightly to make everything fit into 12 pages. Plus, it saves paper too, to print all the pieces in 12 pages and not 13. That's what I call a double bonus right there. Anyways, once you're done printing the pages, it's time to cut them. I cut everything out with my trusty scissors. Once you're done cutting everything out, this is how it should look. I'm going to show you each individual piece so that if you're not sure about how to cut any of the pieces, you can refer to this section to see how it should look once it is cut out. I think it's fairly straightforward cutting these pieces out. The main thing is to make sure you cut only around the outside edges and you don't slice any of the pieces apart. The rabbit flap page is the most delicate page in the folio. Make sure the two rabbits are still joined by the tip of his nose. It basically should look like this once you've cut it out, with everything still joined together. The rest of these pages are the inside pages, which form the bulk of the folio. All these pages have the same shape, so you just need to cut them all out like this. There are some slight differences in the lengths of some of the pages, so it's best if the pieces are cut out individually. As for the ephemera and pockets, here is how they should be cut out. The trickiest ephemera piece to cut out is this pocket watch. This is the only piece where you need to slice the illustration open instead of just cutting around it. If you notice, there is an enclosed space inside the 4 pocket watches. In order to cut away the space with the scissors, you need to slice open this edge. You just need to cut the edge that rests between the 2 clock faces. And make sure you leave the rest of the edges connected. All the other ephemera pieces are pretty straightforward. You just need to cut around the edges and keep everything connected. Here we have tags. A vintage Mr. Rabbit tab. A shabby chic styled pocket watch tab. A playing card. A pocket. More pockets. Your double-sided bookmarks. I'm just going to quickly show you the rest of the ephemera pieces here, because I think once you get the idea, it's pretty straightforward. The only complicated piece to cut is the pocket watch, and for the rest it's just all about cutting around the pieces and keeping all their elements connected. We can push this stack of ephemera to the side because we'll be working on the main pages first. And now we can start assembling the folio. The first thing to do is to find the front cover and the back cover. And here's the front cover. You can tell the difference between the 2 pieces because the front cover comes with a spine on the left, and the back cover has a tab for gluing on the right. Let's start with the front cover. We're going to fold the cover along 2 different fold lines. Right here where the spine meets the cover, and right here in the middle of the 2 pages. So just carefully fold the cover along this edge. If you want to do it properly, you should probably use a bone folder to lightly score the edge before you start folding. A bone folder is a rounded, blunt piece of plastic that helps you make a crisp fold without damaging your paper. However, I sadly do not currently have a bone folder, so I'll just do the folds without one. Since the paper we're using is just regular printer paper, it's luckily quite easy to fold. Once you're done, open up the spine, and then fold it along the same line in the opposite direction. The next thing to do is to fold the 2 pages in half. One thing to take note of is we're going to fold it just up to the edge of the spine like this, and not beyond. An easier way to do the folding is to stick your index finger in the curved loops of the pages, so you can feel if the 2 pages are lining up. You basically want to just fold the 2 pages together so that they completely align. Try and get the pages to line up as best you can. But if you notice any weird sharp corners or any pieces not fully aligning, you can just grab your trusty scissors and give it a bit of a trim to tidy things up. And you're done with the folds for the front cover. We can now move on to making the folds on the back cover. Make a fold along this edge right here. So just along the edge where the tab meets the page. I'm again choosing to live dangerously by just making the fold without doing any scoring with a bone folder, but the paper is thin enough to be very forgiving. Once you're done, open up the tab and fold it along the same line in the opposite direction. We're now going to fold the 2 pages together along the middle. Carefully fold them together, making sure they are as aligned as possible. If there are any sharp, pointy corners, snip them off with a scissors to neaten it up. Now it's time to join the 2 parts of the cover together. Take the front cover, and you see the spine is here on the right. We're going to glue the tab down on the spine like this. Time to add the glue. Add glue to just the tab labelled Glue. When applying the glue, make sure you cover all parts of the tab. This tab is going to form the main structure of your spine, so you don't want any bits coming apart or flapping open later on. Get the glue to the edges of the tab and make sure all the corners have some glue applied. Carefully glue the spine on the tab. Position it carefully so that the spine lines up with the edge of the tab. Press everything down to make sure it's glued properly. Flip it over, and this is how it should look on the opposite side. Now we're going to glue the 2 sides of the front cover together. Take note that we're only going to glue the 2 left side pieces together and not the right side pieces. It's important to check that you are gluing the correct sides together, because we'll only glue the back cover pieces together at the very end when we're done with everything. Add glue to the leftmost page. Make sure you apply glue to the middle of the page and also right up to the edges. Fold the 2 pages and press them together. Leave the 2 back pages unglued. We're only going to glue these 2 pieces at the very end. It's now time to start gluing these inside pages to the spine of the book. We'll be starting with the first inside page, which is this one here. Previously, we made folds directly on the border between the page and the tab. But this time, we're going to make our folds 1/2 centimetre or 1/4 inch to the left of the border. So instead of making the fold here, we're going to make it here instead. It's exactly on the edge of the beige boxes with the cursive handwriting. Fold the page along the edge of the beige handwriting boxes. Once you're done, open it up and fold it along the same line in the opposite direction. Now we're going to do the usual fold where we fold the 2 pages together, keeping everything aligned. Open it up and add glue to the white backs of the pages. Get the glue all over the centre of the page and right up to the edges. Once I'm done gluing, I pressed both sides of the paper together like this. Make sure everything is lining up properly. If some parts are not lining up and your glue is still wet, you can shift the paper to correct it. Go through the ephemera pile and find this dark blue pocket piece. We're going to be attaching this pocket to the first page of our folio. Add glue to just the light blue sections labelled Glue. That's the big section at the bottom and the thin strip on the left. When selecting your glue, try to find one that doesn't make your paper wrinkly. I really like this crafting glue I'm using because it's quite thick, so it doesn't soak the paper, but at the same time it doesn't dry instantly, so I can shift the paper around if I make any screw-ups. If you have a good glue stick, that can do the job too. The main thing is to find a glue that works for you. Carefully position the pocket over the page and glue it down. If you notice any white edges showing up, we can as usual snip it off with the scissors. You just want to trim a tiny bit off to neaten it up. If you guys have distressed ink, you could dab it over any remaining white bits on your page to really make everything neat. I currently don't have any distressed ink, though that's on my wish list with the bone folder. The next thing to do is to glue your page to the cover. When you fold the tab inwards, we're going to stick it down on the cover like this. Add glue to the white flap on your page. Take note that we're not doing it on the side labelled Glue, and we're instead applying glue to the white blank side. As usual, try and get an even coverage of the glue, making sure every white bit is covered right up to the edges. Carefully fold the tab down slightly. Then position your page so that it completely aligns with the cover on the left. Use your fingers to feel if the pages are completely lining up. Once everything feels correctly in place, push the tab back down and stick it to the cover. Flip the pages over to the cover page. Very carefully fold everything along the edge of the spine like this. Our folio is now coming together nicely. When you fold the back cover pages together, you can see how the overall structure of the folio is going to look like. Find the white rabbit page in your pile of papers. We're going to make 2 folds, right at the tip of the rabbit's nose and here in the middle of the pocket watch. Be careful when handling this page because it's pretty delicate. Fold the rabbits together, keeping them perfectly aligned. Fold the pocket watch section in half, also making sure the 2 strips are lining up. Open all the folds up and flip the paper over. We're going to add glue to the back of this rabbit and all the way up this strip on the right. When applying the glue, I usually apply it in a circular motion, so that the glue is just a thin coat over the page. It uses less glue and prevents any chances of applying too much glue and making the paper soggy. After that, I add the glue directly to all the borders of the page, getting it right up to the tips of the rabbit's ears and all the edges. Carefully fold the rabbit pages together and press it down. Now we're going to add glue to the white strip on the left. We're going to glue the rabbit page to the leftmost edge of the folio. Position the strip carefully over the page. Make sure the strip lines up with the page beneath it. And press it down. Time to add the ephemera pockets to the page. If you look closely at the page, you'd notice there are these horizontal beige lines labelled glue. These lines are guides that show us where to position the pockets. Look through the ephemera pile and find your 3 pockets. The smallest pockets will go on the bottom and the longest pocket is the one on the top. Grab the longest pocket and fold all the tabs labelled glue down. We'll be gluing it here later on. Next, repeat the same steps for the other 2 pockets. Fold all the tabs down. This is off topic, but I'm curious, how did you guys get into junk journaling and making paper folios? For me, I was into making ridiculously thick birthday cards as a kid, and I remember buying scrapbook paper and using them to collage and make cards that were more like tiny picture books. Everything had to be planned months in advance, and 14-year-old me started working each project half a year before their birthdays. Later on, when I was an adult, I found out about junk journaling, and it just felt like a natural progression to explore that too. But I always love finding out how other people started their crafting journeys. If you leave a comment, I'm curious to hear it. Now add glue to the tabs of the pocket. And carefully glue it down to the folio. Position the leftmost pocket so that it fits exactly in this space under the rabbit, and nothing is poking out beyond the borders of the page. Once it's in the right position, press it down. And then repeat the steps for the next 2 pockets. Add glue on the tabs. Carefully stick it down over the beige horizontal line labelled glue. The bottom edge of the pocket goes directly over the bottom of the line. Repeat these steps for the next pocket as well. And our pockets are good to go. Now that we've completed 2 pages of pockets, we can start making the ephemera that goes in them. Sort through the ephemera pile and find this playing card. Fold it in half. Open it up and then add glue to the white backs. Carefully press them together. Do some snipping with the scissors if you notice any sharp edges or misaligned bits. Once you're done, slide the card into this pocket here, and we're going to make loads of ephemera for the rabbit pockets too. Find this playing card and fold it in half. As usual, open it up and apply glue to the white underside. Press the pieces together. And slide it into a pocket. Time to assemble these tags. Fold each one in half like this. Make sure the curved, rounded bits at the top are lining up before folding everything down. Repeat the same thing for the next two tags. I think this Alice in Wonderland Folio is the longest project that I've done a video tutorial for. I've made tutorials for other interactive kits, but this one definitely has the most pages and ephemera pieces. In total, I think it took me roughly 2 hours to manually cut out the pieces with scissors, which, to be fair, could be sped up if you have a cry-cut machine, and then 2.5 hours to complete the assembly. Hang on, let's get back to making the tags. Once you're done folding, open each one up. And apply glue to their white undersides. Fold it back in half and press the pieces together. Repeat these steps for the next two tags. Now back to what we were talking about just now. Do you guys prefer long or short projects? I guess short projects are fun because you can get the final results quickly, but long projects are fun too because you can spread the assembly out over multiple days and have something to look forward to. Plus, I find making long projects quite relaxing and meditative. Let me know what you think. Do you prefer long or short projects? Once you're done making the tags, slip them into the pockets like this. Time to make the pocket watch. Grab the pocket watch piece and fold it in half like this. Make sure the handle of each watch are aligning before pressing the folds down. Next, fold the pocket watch in half again like this. Open everything back up. Add glue to the white backs on the left side. Fold the two sides together and press them down. Next, repeat the same thing on the right side. Add glue to the backs. And then press them together. And your pocket watch is complete. Slide it into the top pocket here. We've now completed 2 folio pages. time to start working on the third page. Fold it in half like this, keeping both sides aligned. Next, we're going to make a fold 1/2 centimetre or 1/4 inch away from the tab line. If you look closely, there is a faint brown line that indicates where the fold should be. Carefully fold the page along the faint brown line. Fold the page again in the opposite direction along the same fold line. We'll be attaching this page to the rest of the folio like this. But first, we'll have to glue the 2 halves of the page together. Open all the folds up again, and then add glue to the backs of the pages. You just need to add glue to the page on the right side. Make sure the glue goes right to all the edges and the centre of the page. Once you've added glue all over the page, fold the 2 halves together. Give the edges a little trim if need be, especially if you notice any sharp corners or misaligned sections. Be careful to only trim it very slightly and don't take too much off. Next, fold the tab down and add glue to the white side. Next, carefully line up this piece with the edge of the rabbit page. You can shift it slightly to move it to the correct position, especially if you're using a glue that takes a while to dry. Once it's in the correct position, press it down. Go back to the cover page and then fold the cover along the edge of the spine like this. Now we're going to attach the pocket for this page, as well as a tab that will go on the top right-hand corner. Go through the ephemera pile and find this rounded triangular piece. Add glue to the beige areas of the page marked glue. It's a thin vertical strip on the left. And also the thick horizontal area on the bottom. Once you're done, carefully press the pocket onto the glued area. You can use the rounded corner on the bottom right as a guide on where the pocket should go. The rounded corner of the pocket should align exactly with the rounded corner of the page beneath. Time to make the bookmarks. Pull out these 2 pieces from the ephemera pile. Fold them both in half like this. Do the same thing for the second bookmark. Fold it carefully in half, making sure that both sides are lining up nicely. Once you've folded both pieces, we can start gluing their backs together. Add glue to the white underside of each bookmark. Then fold it in half and press both sides together. Repeat the same thing for the second bookmark as well. Add glue to its white backs, and then fold it in half and press the two sides together. We can now work on the tab for the page, which will go in the corner on the top right. Go through the ephemera pile and find this piece with pocket watches and pink roses. Fold it in half, making sure both sides are lining up nicely. If you look closely at the page, you'd notice there are beige areas marked glue. The beige areas are in the shape of the pocket watch, and it's a guide so you know where to stick the tab later on. We're basically going to glue the pocket watch directly over the beige shapes, and this is how it will look when it's attached to the page. It's really cute because the illustrations are on both sides, so you can see it when the page is flipped over too. Now let's add glue to the backs of the tab. Add glue to the white areas of the page, making sure you get glue to all the tiny leaves and petals along the edges. This time we'll be adding glue to both of the white underside pages, not just one of them. So just make sure all of the white bits have some glue on them. Once you're done, carefully hold the piece like this and then hold open the folio page. Position the edge of the pocket watch over the beige shapes and glue it down. After that, flip the page over and fold the rest of the pocket watch down, sticking the two sides together. And that's it! The tab basically sticks out from the page and it just makes your folio look extra cute. Plus, it functions like a bookmark and helps you flip to a particular page really quickly. Once everything's dry, you can slot your bookmarks into the hidden pocket like this too. Time to start working on the next page. Look through the ephemera pile and find this pocket. We'll be sticking the pocket down to the page like this later on. But first, add glue to all the pink areas labelled glue. That's the area on the bottom, and the thin vertical strips on the right and left. Once all the pink areas are covered in glue, carefully position the pocket over the glued sections. Align the rounded left corner of the pocket with the left corner of the page beneath. We can now stick the next page into the folio. We'll be making the same fold along the middle here, and we'll also be folding the paper 1/2 centimetre or 1/4 inch to the left of the edge of the tab. If you look closely, you can see a faint brown line that indicates where the fold should be. We'll first fold the paper in half along the usual fold line, making sure that the rounded corners of the paper are all lining up before pressing everything down. Next, make the second fold along the faint brown line. Carefully fold the paper down along this light brown line. Flip the page over and make the exact same fold in the opposite direction along the same fold line. Open all the folds up and then add glue to the white backs of the page. Press the two halves of the page together. After that, fold the tab down like this. And then add glue to the white side of the tab. Once the whole tab is covered in glue, carefully position the piece like this so that it lines up with the edge of the page. When the piece completely lines up with the edge, press it down and stick it in place. Go through the ephemera pile and take out this card with the hearts. Fold it in half. And then open it back up again. Add glue to its white undersides. Once it's covered in glue, press the two halves together. Give the edges a bit of a tidy with the scissors, and then slot the card into the hidden pocket right here. Time to assemble the Mr. Rabbit tab. Find this rabbit piece from the ephemera pile. Fold it in half with both sides perfectly aligned. Open it up again, and then add glue to all the white backs of the rabbit. Make sure you get glue on both of the white pages. Also, make sure every bit has some glue, especially the delicate thin bits along the edges. Once you're done, position the rabbit over the pink areas of the page marked glue. If you look closely at the page, you'll see there is also a diagonal black line on it. This black line is the handle of the umbrella that the rabbit is holding. So make sure you position the black line so that it lines up with the rest of the umbrella. When it's in the correct position, press it down and flip the page over. Fold the rabbit carefully so that both sides line up exactly. And the rabbit tab is complete. Look how cute he looks in his dapper suit. Go back to the cover page again and do the same fold along the edge of the folio's spine. We've now completed many of the pages in the folio. Look how adorable everything is. The lovely thing about Alice-themed journals is there are so many themes and scenes from the Lewis Carroll book to draw inspiration from. We've included so many concepts in this folio already, but at the same time there are still so many more scenes we could include as well, such as the Red Queen of Hearts, the Flamingo Croquet, and the Blue Caterpillar. Let me know in the comments if you would like a Part 2 folio where I explore more Alice themes like this as well. OK, now it's time to glue the final page to the folio. This time, we'll be making the fold slightly differently. We'll be making the fold on the border between the tab and the page, so the fold will be exactly on the edge where the pattern ends. Fold the page right on the edge of the tab. Open it up and fold it in the opposite direction along the same fold line. After that, do the usual fold where you fold the two sides of the paper in half. As always, make sure the curved corners of the page are lining up. Open the page up again, and then add glue to the white backs of the page. Press the two sides of the page together. Similar to what we did for the previous pages, we'll be gluing this page to the rest of the folio like this. We'll be gluing the page right on the edge where the illustration ends. Add glue to the white side of the tab. Position the piece exactly on the edge of the page. Once it's in the correct position, press the piece down and stick it together. Flip the folio back to the cover page, and again make the same fold along the edge of the spine. Go back to the Tea Party pages. We're now going to attach this teacup pocket to the bottom of the page. Add glue to the light pink areas labelled glue. The glue areas are the thin vertical strip on the left. The area on the bottom, and then the vertical strip on the right side. Carefully position the pocket over the glued areas and press it down. Make sure the rounded corner on the bottom right of the pocket lines up exactly with the rounded corner of the page below. Find the Tea Party bookmark and fold it in half. Open it up again, and then add glue to the white side of the page. Once the page is covered with glue, fold the two sides and press it together. Once everything is fully dried, slide the bookmark into the hidden pocket. Find the mushroom tab and fold it in half. As usual, make sure both halves are lining up properly. If you look closely at the Tea Party page, you'll notice that there is a light green area labelled glue in the shape of the mushroom. This green area is a guide that lets you know where to stick the mushroom tab. However, we need to first attach the pocket in the next page before we glue down the mushroom tab. Let's put the mushroom tab aside for now. Find this light blue pocket. We will be sticking it to the page here like this. Add glue to all the pale blue areas labelled glue. That's the vertical strip on the left, the horizontal strip on the bottom, and the vertical strip on the right. Once the areas are covered in glue, press the pocket over the glued areas. Make sure the rounded left corner of the pocket lines up with the rounded corner of the page beneath. Now that the pocket is glued, we can go back to working on the mushroom tab. Flip the mushroom tab over to the white side. Add glue to both of these white pages. Once both sides are covered in glue, hold the Tea Party folio page open like this. Carefully position the mushroom tab over the light green areas labelled glue. Flip the page over, then fold the mushroom tab down with both halves lining up with each other. Time to work on the final ephemera piece, the Drink Me bottle. Fold it in half. Make sure the neck and shoulders of the bottle are aligning before pressing down the fold. Open it up. Add glue to the white sides of the bottle. Once everything is glued, press the two halves together. And then you can slide the bottle into the hidden pocket in the page. To finish off your folio, we just need to glue the two back cover pages together. Add glue to the white page on the right. Make sure you get glue to the edges and the centre of the page. Fold the cover page and press everything down. And the last thing to do is to go back to the front page and do the same fold along the edge of the spine again. I know this looks like I'm flattening the folio, but trust me, we've got so many layers of glue and tabs on this edge that it really needs a chiropractor to give it a fold so that it straightens up in the end. If you are brave, you technically can fold the folio along this edge in the opposite direction as well. But honestly, I'm not going to risk it. Once you're done with the chiropractic treatment, give the spine a nudge and everything feels nice and straight. And your folio is pretty much complete. Congrats if you've made it till the end of this video. I really had fun making this kit and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Please click the subscribe button and hit the bell notification if you would like to stay updated to new kits and videos I make. Also, if you enjoyed the video, leaving a like would really help the channel out. If you have any suggestions of other themed folios or junk journal kits you'd like me to make, leave a comment down below. This YouTube channel is still relatively new, and I'm always open to suggestions and comments. I'm really happy with how the Alice in Wonderland Folio turned out. This interactive pocket watch is so cute, and I really like how there are so many different pages, pockets and pieces to explore. Many of the pockets in the folio are quite large, and if you want to further customize your folio, you technically can add your own ephemera pieces and stash them inside the pockets. I think some of the pockets are pretty roomy, especially the ones in the rabbit page. There's always room for adding more ephemera if you want to, but of course this is completely optional. I think the folio already looks adorable as it is. Another thing that I love about the folio is it's completely freestanding. and it can stand upright by itself. You can flip the folio to any page and let it stand on your table or shelf to display it. Even though this folio was made using normal printer paper, because we did so much folding, all the pages are really solid and thick due to the multiple layers of paper and glue. This is one of my favourite pages in the folio. It's inspired by the Mad Hatter Tea Party that Alice goes to in the book. But it's also inspired by the shabby chic aesthetic, and it's sort of a combination of both styles together. It's a little mad, but it's also really cute. And here we have our Drink Me bottle, which is a magical potion Alice drinks that shrinks her down to a really tiny size. I really love how the bottle looks gigantic next to the Alice illustration. It's almost as though she has just drunk the potion and is now completely tiny. All in all, this was a super fun project and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to make more crafts like this, check out my Etsy shop. It's full of digital kits that you can download, print and assemble, just like this one. I also have another Alice in Wonderland junk journal kit there as well, if you're keen. Links to everything are in the description. Also, I recently made a new video tutorial for the Moon Compass folio kit. The Moon Compass is one of my shorter projects and it's super easy and fun to make. And you can check it out here on YouTube by clicking on this pop-up video on the top right-hand corner. Watch the video, guys. I swear it's really magical and beautiful. Plus, it's so much fun to make. Besides that, take care, have fun crafting and sending you lots of love.